Okay, for B, let's see, I'll use a different color here. For B, it's a little bit more complicated, which a lot of students were actually more familiar with this than they were with A. So I would do, again, my simplifying steps. I always do keep, change first. So I'm going to change subtraction to adding the opposite. I don't change any of my addition. You can, but it doesn't simplify things. I think it makes it simpler when you change things to adding the opposite, but it doesn't make, so if it's subtraction, it's simpler if you make it adding the opposite, but it doesn't make it simpler to change adding to subtracting the opposite, in my opinion. So then my next step that I would do, I'll just stay with the same thing, is I am going to do combining like terms. I can't do the distributive property because there's no parentheses here, but I can combine like terms. I see that I have a 6x and that I am adding 5x to that. So when I combine those, that makes that makes 11x's. And then I also see that I have a negative 8, and I need to add 5 to that. And when I combine those, that makes negative 3. So I have 11x plus negative 3 on this side. And now I am going to just rewrite that along with everything else. So the other side, there's no combining like terms that can be done. So I just write 8x plus negative 9 again. So now that I've combined like terms, I'm going to go to removing balanced sets. I'm going to take things away from both sides equally, or add things to try to eliminate terms. So I can pick anything I want. Let's see, I think most students started by eliminating 8x. So they would take away 8x. They're just, subtracting it because it's being added here. And then they're going to subtract 8x from this side, and they got 3x. And then on the other side, they got no x, so I'm just not even going to write anything. And then the other thing that they would do, so they would do 3x plus negative 3 equals negative 9. And then the next step would be to get rid of the negative 3. So I have all of my x's on this side. I want to get rid of this negative 3 to get all of my 1's on the other side. So I want to create a 0 pair with this negative 3. I can either add 3 to that, or I can subtract negative 3. Let's use a different color. Let's go with pink. I'm just going to say I'm adding 3, and I'm adding 3 here. And you can see here that I am running out of space, so I'm going to shrink this down just a little bit. See if I can make it so that my lines still line up there. So I add negative 3, and then I will be left with just 3x. And on the other side, I will be left with negative 6. Negative 9 plus 3 is negative 6. And then the last thing that I do, I want to get rid of this 3. If we remember from looking over here, if you want to get rid of a 3 that's right next to an x, I would divide by 3 and divide by 3. 3x divided by 3 is x, and negative 6 divided by 3 is negative 2. So that should be my answer for this one. If you wanted to check your answer, you would take your work and you would put it in. You would do 6, instead of 6x, you would do 6 times negative 2 plus negative 8, right? I'm just rewriting all of this. And then plus 5x, but instead of x, I'm going to write 5 times negative 2 plus 5. And then I should move that over. And then on the other side, I'm going to do 8 times negative 2 because it was 8x. And then plus negative 9. Now I have to remember that I'm supposed to do all of my multiplying first. So 6 times negative 2 is negative 12. Negative 8, sorry, that's not negative 8 times 5. 5 times negative 2 is negative 10. Negative 8 stays the same. Negative 5 stays the same. And then 8 times negative 2 is negative 16 plus negative 9. So then I just see, are these equal to the same thing? Well, negative 12 plus 8 is negative 4, plus negative 10 is negative 14 plus 5 is negative 9. And then on the other side, I feel like I'm making a mistake here. Oh, it's because I did negative 8. That's why. Negative 12 plus negative 8 is negative 20, plus negative 10 is negative 30, plus 5 is negative 25. So all of this together equals negative 25. And then negative 16 plus negative 9 also equals negative 25. So these are equal, but only when x is negative 2. So that's how I know my answer is correct. Most students, when they missed this, some people forgot to do keep, change, or they didn't do it the right way. Some people came up with 3 instead of negative 3 here to come up with a different answer. Some students just forgot a sign somewhere, or they just like did their integer math wrong. Those were the most common mistakes I saw with this one. Anyways, go find out what you missed and let me know in your quiz.